Hey YouTube, how's it going? Well, I was doing a little bit of digital house cleaning here today, and I ran across something that actually kind of surprised me, and that was the fact that there was a whole bunch of questions on Formspring that I had not seen or gotten to, even though some of these things are several months old. And so, in the spirit of getting caught up with things, I thought I'd make this special edition of Ask TFC to get caught up on them. And so, let's get right to it. And question number 1. Hi TFC, wondering if you have seen the Star Trek movie from 2009, and if so, what is your opinion of it? Okay, it took me a while, but I did finally get a chance to see that thing. And I'll tell you what. My opinion of it is not a very good one, and I have several reasons for that. I will address one of the biggest, most irritating ones visually, and that is the lens flares. They used entirely too much. They overused the lens flares. It got to the point where there are several points in that movie where you can't see the set, you can't see half of what's going on at all, because the lens flares is there. And let me tell you something, they did that on purpose. They didn't do it post-production either. They did it in camera during the shoot. You see, J.J. Abrams apparently likes lens flares, and he likes them so much that he went out of his way to produce them. Number one, he used anamorphic lenses. Anamorphic lenses are known for producing lens flares, brilliant blue lens flares, when the light hits them just right. And in addition to using the anamorphic lenses, he had people standing around the set shining bright lights directly into the lens from the side, specifically to produce those lens flares. They did it on purpose. They went out of their way to do it. And I think they way incredibly overdid it. You could have gotten away with some lens flares. I can see the use of some of them, like maybe 5% of what they actually used, but the degree of lens flares they did a real good job of visually ruining the movie all by itself. Now, as for the story, oh, that's a big bugaboo. Let's just say that in creating that particular alternate Star Trek timeline, the man lost my respect completely. Not only did he not watch Star Trek movies before he did his own Star Trek movie, it's my understanding that he doesn't particularly like Star Trek, which means he shouldn't have been working on it. And there are so many holes in the storyline that he ended up creating. There are so many things wrong with it that I could probably make a half-an-hour video just to rant about that. I'm not going to do that. And as a matter of fact, that's as far as I'm going to go with what I think of J.J. Abrams' abortion of a movie. Next question, number 2. You seem to love the word frankly a lot. I do love the word too. You have a clue how often you say frankly per day? I have planned for several weeks now just to go through all your videos again, just to count how often you use the word, just for fun. Well, actually, I didn't realize I used it that much. It never really occurred to me that I used it a whole lot. And as for going through all of my videos, just to see how often I use the word, well, you're welcome to do that, and I'll appreciate the views and so on, but doggone it, you set yourself a big project. There's almost 900 videos to look at. That's a lot. Let's see. Question number 3. Hi TFC, just wondering if you plan to do a part 2 to how to make transporter video effect with wax. Yes, I do need to get to that. I did say I would do it, and it's been a long time, and there's been a lot of things going on and so on, but I am going to try to get to that. I cannot and will not even begin to promise when, but I will do my best to get to it. Question number 4. What type of computer do you have? Okay, when this question was asked, the only computer I was using for YouTube and gaming and so on is my Toshiba laptop. It's a Toshiba Satellite Pro L500-EZ1530. A machine that about 2 months after I got it, they stopped making it, because that was the last one they had, I believe, one of the last ones they had that came bundled with XP. And as for right now, I have that computer with its apparently not very healthy video card, and I have the new system that is a homebrew system, an ASRock motherboard, an AMD Phenom CPU. That is what I use for video and gaming right now. Okay, question number 5. Our homemade chili tastes too sweet. We use tomato sauce as the base. It's kind of hard to figure right there. I mean, you could try including other ingredients that would offset the sweet. I frequently use a fair amount of onions and green bell peppers and garlic and stuff like that. Saute them lightly until they're just a little bit past the crunchy stage, and then you put those into your sauce. And the important part here is that you let that sauce simmer for a long time. I mean, I typically let mine simmer for as long as 3 to 4 hours. It makes it a long make, but doggone it, it's worth it. Question number 6. What is the effect of red wine in spaghetti sauce? Okay, red wines, or any wine that you use in cooking, the main reason for using it is to kind of blend with the original flavors that are in the food and bring out those flavors in kind of a bigger way than you'd get without the wine. Now, you use a red wine with red sauces and red meats and stuff like that. And one of the key things there, actually there's 2 pretty much important key things. Number 1, don't just go with some cheap $1.50 bottle of cooking wine, because it's going to come out all kind of salty and so on, and it's not necessarily going to be all that great. It's not really going to add to the flavor of your food, not in a way you want. The best way to go, now I have not actually cooked with wine myself, but I've done a lot of reading on it and a lot of research about it. I used to watch a lot of Food Network back when I could receive television, so anyway, the idea here is that when you're cooking with wine, you want to use a wine that you would drink. A wine that is good enough that it could qualify as something that you'd be willing to drink. That's about the best rule of thumb I can give you on that. And then the second important thing is you need to give it time to simmer. 45 minutes to an hour at least, so that it can work its way into the food and blend all the flavors and so on. And also, just to dispel any myth, any ideas about a certain myth, no, when you cook with wine, the alcohol is not a factor. And the reason for that is because as you cook it, the alcohol evaporates, leaving behind the flavor ingredients of the wine. So if you cook something with wine, no, nobody's going to get tipsy or drunk off of it, because the alcohol evaporates during cooking. Alright, question number 7. I want to upload my video. Well, good. Good. Go for it. Make a YouTube account and set yourself up and upload a video. Not a question, but hey, what the heck. And question number 8. And this is one of those robotic questions from Formspring, but I figured I'd go for it anyway. Star Wars or Star Trek? To be perfectly honest, both. It all depends on the situation, my mood, what's going on, and so on. I like both stories. I've been watching Star Trek a heck of a lot longer, since it started in 1966, but that's okay. Star Wars is still good too. As for which one could beat the other, let's not go there. Alright, I believe that's about it. Yes, it is. Alright. This has run longer than I expected it to, and so on. But, what the heck. Now I'm caught up with the Formspring questions. So, if you have any kind of a question, looking for any kind of advice, shoot a question out there. On Twitter, use the hashtag AskTFC. You can do so in the comments on the video, on Formspring, whatever. Take it easy. I'm out of here.